stop drinking. Jim Beam is pausing bourbon production at its main Claremont, Kentucky distillery for all of 2026. And the shockwave hit Wall Street with about $830 million wiped off liquor stocks as big alcohol faces slowing demand. What do you think of this? Breaking news! Breaking news! The alcohol industry is crashing, losing $830 billion as younger generations stop drinking. Jim Beam is pausing bourbon production at its main Claremont, Kentucky distillery for all of 2026. And the shockwave hit Wall Street with about $830 million wiped off liquor stocks as big alcohol faces slowing demand. What do you think of news?
Lip filler hack. If you want your lips to look way bigger than they are, get a lip stain, overline your lips, and then just let it set. And the longer you leave it on, the darker it gets. I don't want it to be super dark, but overline your lips like crazy.
Yeah.
And this lasts all day. It's
No, at all,
proof. It is
you were gonna
proof.
win unless you had like fucking.
All the above.
Unless you had like Justin.
I just let it sit for a second.
Two lights.
And it literally takes under a minute. Okay? It's that easy. And we're done. The lips look huge and fabulous. I just wipe it off with a towel.
You're still wanting to play once I get done leveling up these fucking frames. It should only take me maybe like 30 minutes on Photo.
And it comes off in the wash. But tell me that they don't look.
I like finals. I don't care.
Perfect. Shade whimsical, so if you want your lips to look cute. Lip filler hack. If you want your lips to look way bigger than they are, get a lip stain, overline your lips, and then just let it set. And the longer you leave it on, the darker it gets. I don't want it to be. Super dark, but overline your lips like crazy. And the
What's your name, POP? So they calling you Bob. Stop saying you cut it, I know for the Bob.
lip filler hack. If you want your lips to look way bigger than they are, get a lip stain, overline your lips.
All right.
It's fucking gross. I'm trying to level up a bunch of shit for the mastery rank, and the weapon that I'm using is fucking awful. It's just bad. Oh. Thank you, Tashi, for giving me another piece of shit. Fuck.
Dagger tips I used to win several Marvel Rivals tournaments. Tip number 1. Dagger's healing is splash healing, which means when you are healing one target, a smaller amount of healing will transfer to other heroes within range. This makes her way more effective on maps that are smaller, like Hell's Heaven, and also benefits when your team is just close together in general. Tip number 2. When using your ultimate, it's very important to start in cloak form. This makes it easier to fade any immediate danger as soon as your ult ends, instead of having to wait an extra second to swap forms and then fade. It makes the difference between living and dying. Think of a Magneto rock flying at you across the map, or a Wolverine attempting to grab you. Being able to fade the second you're out of your ultimate animation will save your life. This is super important because when you die, your ultimate also dies with you. So don't leave your team hanging and make sure you start your ult in cloak form. This next tip is crazy important and will make you win so many more games. So pay attention. And you better be subscribed so you don't miss tips like these in the future too. Tip number 3. I see a lot of Cloak and Dagger players just sit in cloak form when anticipating an ultimate from the enemy team. This is bad. If the enemy see this, they will just damage your team while you aren't healing and just walk forward into you. They don't even need to use an ultimate at this point. What you can do if you're trying to fade an eye or any other ult like Clobber is you can bait the enemy by swapping to Dagger form and then swapping back quickly, trying to act like you aren't ready to fade. This is very useful against strange players with Eye of Agamotto, Groot Ultimate, Iron Man Ultimate, Spider-Man, Clobber, Jeff, everything. It's super important to try to bait the enemy team to use their ult instead of just waiting the entire time for them to use it. Lots of strange players won't even eye if they see you in your cloak form. The only time you can stay in your cloak form is versus Magneto, because you can damage the Magneto in cloak form and your healing will just get sucked up and charge the ult anyways. Tip number 4. Players who are new to Cloak and Dagger will often use Dagger's Bubble CD to heal themselves. Do not do this. Bubble is so important to be used for your team, for building your ult charge, and also just to help them survive, and should only be used to heal yourself if the enemy is engaging on you. Instead, look to play on top of your second support and heal them. You will also heal yourself with your splash healing.
Oh, your supports are probably dead here.
For example, if the enemy Venom slams on you or if the enemy Cap is up in your face, yes, you can look to use your bubble to heal yourself and your other support, assuming you're stacked on top of each other, but really you should wait until your team is face to face with the enemy team and trading cooldowns back and forth. You can also save bubble to live certain ultimates from the enemy team if you don't have a support ult, though this is more risky. You will likely need a shield tank to help you from living Storm ult or Psylocke ultimate as well. If an enemy solo pushes with Psylocke ult or Storm ult, and they're completely alone, you're probably fine to live these ults with just your bubble. But if their team pushes up with them at the same time, you're going to need your team's help to stack. Tip number 5. Lots of Cloak players misunderstand when to use your cooldowns. Wait for the enemy team to be committed. Being committed looks like your team is face to face with the enemy, swapping cooldowns back and forth. It can also look like a slam from a Venom or a Cap on your backline. Really just anything going on where there's a lot of cooldowns being traded back and forth and maybe some ultimates starting to be used. That means the enemy team is committed. We really want to make sure we use our cooldowns for these moments because we don't want to waste them in the pre-fight and have the enemy team take advantage and just get to walk in basically for free. It will also be a lot easier for you to build your ult charge if you're waiting for these good timings. Tip number 6. For your ultimate, be aware that the enemy team is going to try to counter you. And away from the enemy team if they have a second support ult and try to track your mag and distance yourself from him. Ending away from the mag makes it much harder for him to land his rock and gives you more time to fade. Wolverines also like to grab you out of your ult, so make sure to try and end away from him as well. Tip number 7. Terror Cape is blocked by shields. Try not to be super obvious when walking up and instead walk up in dagger form, swap quickly, and then blind when you see an opening. This is super important because Terror Cape is one of Cloak and Dagger's most important abilities, and you can also look to combo it at all times. Tip number 8. You can actually reload on Cloak and Dagger by changing forms, and this is faster than just reloading manually. The best way to do this is actually to bind your change forms on both characters, which you can do in the settings, to scroll wheel down or up. This actually makes it so that it minimizes the time it actually takes for you to press that button and just makes it a really seamless transition. And while you change forms, you can actually look for a Terror Cape if your team is committed into the fight. That brings us to tip number 9. Make sure you communicate all of your abilities, especially Fade and Terror Cape.
I blinded 3. I can blind corner here. Blinded. We're all blinded. Okay. Blinded.
Look for combinations with Terror Cape and other abilities. Abilities like Namor Whale, Groot ult, Thor ult. Just so many abilities can be turned into one-shot combos when paired with your Terror Cape ability. Take advantage of this. Always communicate to your team when you have Terror Cape available to damage boost and tear through the enemy team.
Hold on, fight. Walking up. Look at the Hawkeye. Hawkeye.
It's really important to communicate this with your team so they know that you're able to combo with them. If I see that my Phoenix on my team has ult when I hold tab, I will tell her that I'm able to combo with her and make it so her ult one-shots an enemy squishy.
Here's Thor, okay? I'm gonna blind. Hawkeye blinded.
On the same leave, it's also important you communicate your healing bubble, so your team plays inside and builds your ultimate as quickly as possible.
Take some damage, please.
That's no block.
I'm looking here.
It's also so important to call your fades to your team as well, as your teammates will cancel fade by shooting their guns or using any sort of ability.
I have fade. Stack on me.
Luna Clap is a really good example. She cannot be faded if she's in her clap at all. Tip number 10, and arguably the most important tip, the biggest goal on Cloak and Dagger, and really any strategist in Marvel Rivals, is just to survive. Your life is the most important on your team, and if you die, it's likely that the rest of your team is not that far behind.
Close my ult. I'm ulting. No! Game losing.
So really try to make sure that you're not the first one dead, and if you do die, make sure the enemy team spends a lot of ultimates making sure that happens. Please let me know what heroes you guys would like me to do next in the comments below, and
Cloak and Dagger are often referred to as one of the easy support characters, and even though they might be simple to pick up and play, the difference between a person filling C&D and someone that is an enthusiast is incredibly noticeable. My name is Paz, an Eternity support player on the competitive ladder, and I'm going to tell you all of the things you actually need to know in order to pop off and carry on Cloak and Dagger. Before we get started with their abilities, understand that the way you can carry on Cloak and Dagger is by charging your ultimate as fast as possible. If you are consistently out farming the enemy supports, you are doing so much more for your team, especially the higher you go in rank. The way that you are going to outfarm the enemy isn't by just healing, but rather by weaving impactful damage and being as efficient as possible with all of your cooldowns on the character to maximize your output in neutral fights. With this in mind, let's get started with Cloak and Dagger's kit. Starting off with Dagger's primary fire, she shoots out a homing projectile, healing friendlies for 16 points of health per hit, plus the seasonal bonus she usually gets. She can throw out 12 of these healing projectiles before she has to reload, which is always faster if she just switches between forms, if you didn't know. The projectile also deals 18 damage per round, which is pretty poor and should only be used in very niche situations. Since the darts are homing, it is pretty important to understand how the homing works. Typically, the projectiles will pull into the closest target to your crosshair. This is shown by either the white or red tooltip that shows up whenever you are close to a target. For friendly targets to be homed on, they have to have health that is missing that you can actually heal. If they are full health, they will not be targeted when they go in. The range is not infinite though on this targeting effect, and if you miss so hard that the homing doesn't start, the projectile will just bounce off of a wall and lose its homing effect. Targets can also block your dart if they get in the way of its path, which doesn't come up often, but it's nice to know so you can avoid it anyway. One property about the heal that many people don't actually know is that there are actually two instances of healing that occur when a target is hit. The first heal is the direct heal when targeted, but the second instance is when it does come in contact with either a friendly or an enemy target. When this happens, it makes a light explosion that heals everyone in an 8-meter radius for another 16 points of healing. It's really difficult to see, but if you look closely, you'll see it. The range is super generous, and knowing this will actually help you be more consistent with your healing and reduce the need to use other healing cooldowns for suboptimal situations. Since the healing is a projectile and does not hit targets instantly, times you'll want to use the healing are when your duelists are about to go in for a 1v1 if possible. This will happen a lot right now in Season 2 since dive is so prevalent in the meta the higher you go. What you can do is wait for your Spider-Man or Iron Fist to go in, and right as they are about to start fighting, send them a couple of heals that will keep them sustained as they fight, instead of reacting to a lot of their damage after they have taken it. The projectile moves slowly enough for this to be helpful. Since the projectile burst heals after it hits a target, you can also just opt to hit the enemy your friendly diver is targeting to damage and heal at the same time. But understand that this comes at a cost. Yes, you are doing damage, but realize that you are doing 50% less healing because you are using the impact for damage instead of healing. Outside of dive, you'll really want to focus on trying to maintain as many players in your healing as possible. Try to be cognizant of the fact that your healing also has an AoE burst component and hit as many of your teammates as possible when they are stacking so that everyone can live. If you really want to min-max your ultimate charge potential, this is where you're going to be taking it to the next level. Switching forms over to Cloak, we have his primary fire, the Dark Force Cloak, that shoots a beam of darkness energy, dealing 80 damage per second after the most recent update. This takes his time to kill squishies and shortens it to a bit more than 3 seconds for most, without taking into account his damage boost with the Terror Cape. The range for this damage beam stops locking onto targets after 20, bit more than 3 seconds for most, without taking into account his shortens it per second after Force Cloak, that shoots a beam of darkness energy, dealing 80 damage per second after the most recent update. This takes his time to kill squishies and shortens it to a bit more than 3 seconds for most, without taking into account his damage boost with the Terror Cape. The range for this damage beam stops locking onto targets after 20 meters, which is still pretty good range all things considered, but usually not enough to contest flying characters consistently, but still enough to outrange an Emma Frost. The tracking works very similarly to the healing, although you don't get an actual prompt when the beam is ready to track to someone. For this ability, you just have to know, although it is pretty consistent. In terms of how you want to use this ability, you should always be looking to weave in damage when you can. This could look like when there is a weak target trying to get away, or when your team is all healed up and there is nothing you have to save them from, or to do what everyone should be doing, building ultimate charge. Eliminating a 250 HP target from 100 to 0 gives you about 8% to your ultimate, which might not sound like a lot, but when you add all of this up with the countless other things that we're going to talk about in this video into your gameplay, you are going to be gapping the cloak and daggers on the enemy team by at least 2 to 3 ultimates per game, I promise you. On top of this, if you can manage to eliminate a target early enough in the fight, you will effectively heal the damage your team would have taken had that target still been in the fight and not been taken out. What is the enemy Hela going to do to your team if she's eliminated 3 seconds into the fight? Absolutely nothing. So don't get carried away and only do damage, but seriously try to find ways to weave in more of that damage into your gameplay so that you're going to feel the difference in both ult charge, how easy it is to heal. It'll feel a lot better. Before we move on to the rest of both Cloak and Dagger's kits, it's important to understand how this mechanic works to actually switch between them. Upon pressing the cooldown, you'll conduct a very brief animation and then be able to use all of your abilities on the next form right away. The only reason I make the distinction is because usually you'll want to shift over to Cloak from Dagger to keep your team alive from certain ults with your fading ability. And in those situations, you'll want to actually anticipate them coming so that you don't get caught in that very short animation. It doesn't hurt you a lot, but sometimes it does come in handy to just be a little bit faster. Outside of that, just to review, you should always be using this double shift as a way to reload your projectiles on Dagger. It is faster and gives you more opportunities to use your entire kit. This will give you more ult charge.
I would have seen it. Cool with whatever, so. Hit play CS instead. They can.
as a result too, since Cloak usually goes underutilized for most players. Shifting our focus back to Dagger though, let's discuss her Veil of Light Force that, upon casting, sends out a healing wall that replenishes 45 points of health on impact. Back to Dagger though, let's discuss her Veil of Light Force that, upon casting, sends out a healing wall that replenishes 45 points of health on impact and then provides a 15% healing boost to all incoming healing for teammates it touches over a 4-second period. You'll know if you hit a target because if you did, they'll have this little green highlight around their health bar. The wall moves pretty slow until it reaches its max range of 25 meters, where it will her Veil of Light Force that, upon casting, sends out a healing wall that replenishes 45 points of rest of both Cloak and Dagger's. Shifting our focus back to Dagger though, let's discuss her Veil of Light Force that, upon casting, sends out a healing wall that replenishes 45 points of health on impact and then provides a 15% healing boost to all incoming healing for teammates it touches over a 4-second period. You'll know if you hit a target because if you did, they'll have this little green highlight around their health bar. The wall moves pretty slow until it reaches its max range of 25 meters, where it will then disappear from the air. The veil also will disappear if its center comes in contact with a wall or an enemy shield, which you will have to be very careful about. You can also go around some corners, but you definitely want to avoid it if possible because sometimes it's inconsistent. When should you really use this ability though? First, if you're running a composition where a lot of your team is stacked together, you will definitely want to use the veil on your team when they look to push into the enemy, since that is when they are likely to take the bulk of their damage, where you will actually need to pump out a fair amount of healing. Another moment could be in the opposite situation where you need to get out and the enemies are trying to push with some of their ultimates. If you anticipate a lot of damage, using this proactively could possibly
hopefully
give you just enough time
do
to
it
save your
and I
teammates
won't have
and
to
keep them alive.
get any
Times
other
that you'll
kind of
want to
meds or
avoid using this
anything
ability is
from
if
the
you were trying to
doctors, which
save
would
a
probably
single
be more
teammate that is out of
expensive.
position, since you won't generate as much ult charge from healing a whole group with this as compared to just that solo, since it's only going to heal for like 45 points anyway. The real healing comes afterwards with your primary heal option. exception. The only exception to this rule is if that target that's out of position or is even in a good position has a fight-winning ult and is about to get dove and die if you don't keep them alive with this wall. Like a friendly Luna Snow, for example, that is like 95% to her ultimate. In this situation, it is okay to use your healing Veil because if she dies, you're just gonna lose the fight anyways. What this ability comes down to is positioning yourself in a place where you can hit as many friendly targets as possible so that you can utilize the heal boost to get your ultimate exponentially faster and keep them alive through damage you otherwise wouldn't be able to. This will then, in return, enable your team to get aggressive and eliminate the whole enemy team with ease. Now, Cloak also has his own version of this ability, the Terror Cape, that 5 meters, where it will then disappear from the air. The Veil also will disappear if its center comes in contact with a wall or an enemy shield, which you will have to be very careful about. You can also go around some corners, but you definitely want to avoid it if possible because sometimes it's inconsistent. When should you really use this ability though? First, if you're running a composition where a lot of your team is stacked together, you will definitely want to use the Veil on your team when they look to push into the enemy, since that is when they are likely to take the bulk of their damage, or you will actually need to pump.
So, earlier there, when I was out smoking with Mom, I accidentally knocked over the jar of weed and it broke everywhere, so I had to sit there with her for like the next 20 minutes picking a bunch of shit out of glass. Now it's in a plastic container.
What was the last thing you said?
I said now it's in a plastic container. So that can't happen again.
Yeah.
Babe,
It's the greatest game character of all time. You fucking what? What do you want?
you good? You good, bro?
Huh? She's over there sitting in her chair.
You missed it. Vector was sleepwalking, and then I scared him awake, and he went, "Huh, what the
Your
fuck?"
sugar mama wants you apparently.
Really?
You just
Hold on, I'm coming.
Again. I'm just finishing off the build and I'm done. When?
But,
Oh, I just came in here to tell her I was in the other chat. Hey guys, bye guys.
You're saying?
That's really funny. I left to go
That's so
tell you at the
crazy.
same time. Sup, bro?
You want to play some shitty Marble Rivals?
Hell yeah, brother. I just watched like 2 videos on a bunch of shit on how to play Cloak and Dagger, so that was fun.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. You gonna lock in and play Cloak?
If you're not playing her, then yeah.
I don't know. I need to learn a different healer, so like I'm just
do
scared to
not
try to
mind.
comp.
I mean, if you want to play quick play, we can. But if you want to play comp, then I can just try to focus you a bit, and you can pick someone to play.
Let's do a quick play or two. I want to see what Invis is like.
Okay. We'll do that, and then.
You probably did, yeah.
Oh, my friend sent me a story. Let's hear the story.
So we've been in here since like 5:30, and somebody came in just right at like 7:10ish. And it was 2 older ladies and 5 children. Now, I'm not gonna be mean here. I'm not gonna be racist here, but like, they're the type of people you expect. Watch the kids. Let their kids cause a whole mess. Don't pick up after their kid. Don't say anything to their kids when their kids are supposed to be doing something they're not supposed to.
I know what she's talking about, though.
Small fucking tiny one that
I
can't
hate
even
bitches like
speak
that.
yet.
Like, if
And
you don't
no,
pop that
don't
kid
touch
with a
that
spoon.
was
On
ridiculous.
God, bitch, whip out the belt.
They come in immediately. Their kids scatter across the
Like,
store.
I don't
start
like
running around,
hitting
grabbing
or
shit, getting
spanking
shit,
children, but if my child is literally running around a store, I'm whipping the belt out to scare them.
Literally. Because you are not finna make me look like a fool.
I probably never hit him with it, but it'll at least work for a while as an intimidation tactic, you know? Like, I might
Yeah,
pop them a little bit just to kind of scare them, give them a little sting, but I'd never, like, actually, you know? Because that's what my dad used to do. And he'd leave literal handprints and bruise marks on my ass. From literally, and he'd spank me because I was dragging my feet. Like, really? But yeah. Anyways, what's the rest of this shit?
And then one of her kids grabs one of the little like keychain things we have that doesn't have a sensor on it, and she pockets it. Like she puts it in her pocket, and I'm like, oh, okay. Already right off the bat, not a good sign. And I don't think nothing of it, you know, because they were grabbing things left and right, putting one bag, grab another one, put one bag, grab another one. Just
gotta speed this up a little.
So before they get ready to leave, the mom comes up to pay, and she like slams all her stuff on the counter. She's already on it too. And as I ring up all of her stuff and everything, I was like, "Are you gonna pay for the little rabbit that's in your girl's pocket?" And she goes, "Excuse me?" And I was like, "I watched your daughter pocket one of the little keychain rabbits we have." And she goes, "Are you accusing my daughter of stealing?" And I was like, "I'm not accusing if I saw it." So she calls me racist. She's like, "It's because we're black that you think we steal all the time. But you say that every black person that comes to the store." And I was like, "No, I only say it when I know who stole something." And she starts calling me, "Helping me." So I had like everything around shit. And my manager goes, "Well, if my employee says that she saw, I'm going to believe her more than I'm going to believe a random customer that's never been in here before." So what happens is the mom goes, "Well, I'll prove it to you, and then both of you will be racist." So her daughter, she pulls her daughter over and starts checking her daughter's pockets, and she goes, "See, she don't have nothing. Don't just be racist." She pulls the last pocket out, and she pulls out the rabbit that the girl stole. And I go, "Yeah, there it is." And she looks at it, and then she looks at us, and then she looks at her daughter, and she goes, "What did I tell you about grabbing things? You're not supposed to touch anything when we come to this door." That's what happened to change. And then she said, "The daughter did steal something." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, funny how you. First off, you don't parent your fucking kids. You're watching your daughter steal something. God forbid I do my fucking job."
Yeah, that sounds about right. I fucking hate people around that area. That's another reason why I was so done with fucking Georgia, bro. It's Georgians.
Georgians.
I mean, literally, like. Oh, so we're both playing Punisher, eh? Do we have a tank?
No.
Well, that's a smart idea, ain't it?
Right, it would be so good if they really played it. I'm not in the car. Right? Really good.
Clearly, you needed some help.
Yeah, I can tell this is quick play because my aim is dog shit right now, and they're just.
I'm good to go.
I'm not gonna lie, if I play bad, my shakers that you know like it's reloading and lagging, like that's all right.
Focus on the battle.
Bro, nothing's happening. I'm so confused.
One on top of it.
Their tank just went into the, like, ground partially and then into the wall. Where?
Dude, I'm lagging so bad.
I need assistance.
Let me see.
There's a rogue on my ass.
Focus on the battle.
I got this. Get out of here.
Executioner! Judge, jury, executioner!
Well, that's not fair. How did he kill me first?
Judge, jury, executioner! Back for another tour.
Okay.
The other team's going at A.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, their whole team is back up magically.
Here they come.
Mind the exploding plasma.
Oh.
I'm good.
Brother, our tank like came to save me and then started punching the wall while the tank walked straight away from him. Like he was punching her, she walked the other way, and he just started punching the wall.
You need to stop that vehicle in its tracks.
What the fuck?
Brother, I can't see anything.
Oh, 1 HP, 1 HP on the light. Nice.
I don't like mag.
Tank, can you do me a favor and not constantly walk in front of my face when I try to walk out of the way so I can see?
Putting a motion sensor on the actual...
I mean, quite literally, I try to walk to the right, he walked in front of me. I try to walk to the left, he walked in front of me.
I go kind of ridiculous until I have to fight, so
High caliber.
Oh, I don't like Angela. And what? How the fuck do you say her name?
Yeah, it's Angela.
Angela.
they're here. We're above me.
Brother, we don't have any defense. Like, we're just standing here. Okay.
I'm going Emma.
Heavy's fucked. Heavy's destroyed. Light dead. Heavy destroyed. Light dead.
They are in front of us.
Fire my ass off because these kids are so horrible.
There's still a chance to stop them. Got him, Tippy. Keep an eye on this one.
I'm coming from the left or right side.
Executioner!
They have no clue where I'm at.
Got my own cover. Nice.
There's no one even here. Everyone just left. What the hell? I like showed up and they were all gone.
Executioner! I'm doing this my way.
Okay, and our Mantis is just standing right in front of the fire.
She's so smart.
Hostiles up front.
Guys out here.
By the way, Mantis, maybe don't stand directly in front of fire instead of healing the person in front of you.
If medium, like 25. Nice, last one's on me.
I'll win it, hand.
You know.
Gambit got your back. They ain't seen nothing yet.
We made one of the orange players weird.
Walking shit.
Pulse charge, fire!
Okay. Like, I can't fight this team by myself, brother.
Oh, my sense is fucked.
Dude, I can't.
Here.
Bogeys incoming.
A nice deep freeze.
It'd be nice if, like,
Give them another inch. Or else.
Last one's at one up here.
do some
Oh, that wall kind of saved you.
Bro, our whole team is just sitting there. Like, they're not doing anything.
Judge! Jury! Executioner! I'm good to go. Blaze of glory.
Double KO.
Bad choices have bad consequences.
Friends, gather around. Chin up. Help, friends.
They're here.
Oh, yeah?
Outside the wall west. Right here. One.
You stop them in their tracks.
You know, we just didn't stand there and do nothing.
I like the cold.
Good to go.
Squirrel's killing our back one.
You know.
I wasn't able to stop him.
Out of sight.
We just had to live and suffer from fucking stealing.
Gambit never falls! Need some ranged firepower.
Bro, how did I get taken down in 2 seconds? What the fuck?
Bad choices have bad consequences.
Just gonna go start Vault 6.
Sorry, I had to reload.
I mean, dude, there's 2 other healers and they're not healing me.
This is not over. Leave them to Khonshu. Extermination!
Oh yeah, I can't.
Well, you can't expect to win them all.
I've missed playing Luna.
Burn it up.
Straight up. Did not know that shit far. I don't know why it bitched through.
They're here, they're here. Orange is here.
Fine, it's fucking 2 of them. Just straight through it. It's a heavy and a medium.
Heavy half drop. Heavy dead, medium on me. Nice. I'm gonna drop it all the way if I can. Oh, other people here.
Are you good for another one?
This guy is a fucking retard. And yeah, I am.
One pink, 1 HP. I'm getting